welcome back. And the idea behind this one is I just want to get from you, are there any of these that you're not feeling too comfortable with? And now you have a chance to let me know. So angles round a point. If we've got 3 angles and those 3 angles are round a point, that up to 360 degrees. 2 questions embedded in one. Are you happy with that or not? That's one question. And the other one is, do you have another reason that you use? Because I've got another reason that I sometimes use for this. Okay, so the other reason I sometimes use is revolution. Good Beatles song too. So, okay, so there's that one. Vertically opposite angles. This one, generally okay. Those 2 angles, you have them like that, like that. 2 questions in one. Are you happy with that or not? And the other one, why do you think it's vertically opposite angles and we can't just write opposite angles? Cool. Well, let's see what happens there. Angles round a point. Oh, well, we did this one, right? I don't know why I doubled this one, so goodbye. That was silly, right? Questions becoming a bit much. Okay, this is all funky sometimes called, or funkly as I sometimes call it, and the corresponding angles come up next with alternate cointeres, so the ones to do with parallel lines. So the corresponding normally we think of as the F, right? So that angle is equal to that angle, of course applies in its various forms here. 2 questions embedded in one. Are you happy with this or not? And when you give your reason, you can't just say corresponding angles. There's another little bit of information you need to give here. What is that other bit of information? Cool, you need to say which lines are parallel. So you can, I think it's more proper to go AB, more proper, what is that? AB is parallel to CD. Or you can just say as your reason, corresponding angles, and you can write on parallel lines. Ooh, that was exciting. Okay, next up we have alternate angles. So alternate angles we often think of as either the Z, so that angle is equal to that angle, or sometimes it's the N if you do funky. I always find it weird because I remember it as the Z and then people go funky. And I'm like, but where's the Z in funky? But then fuzz. Anyway. 2 questions embedded in one again. Alternate angles, happy or not? And why do you think when we write our reason, alternate angles, we have to write this parallel lines part? Why can we not just write alternate angles and not write the parallel lines? Okay, interested to see what you said on that. My thinking is that you could have 2 lines like that. That angle is alternate to that angle, but they're not equal unless they're parallel. So those are still alternate angles, even if they're not parallel lines. But they're only equal if they're parallel lines. Okay, cointer angles. So this one is often the C, but in the funky world, it's the U. So that's the U. And when you add these 2 angles together, you get 180. So that one plus that one is 180. And your reason's going to be cointer angles. I mean, ideally you write sum up to 180 or equals 180, parallel lines, but you don't need that 180, it's optional. Just one question, happy or not? Okay, so there are just a few more, as you can see, right, so time for grade 10 will come up, so 3 more, just to check sum of angles in a triangle. It's always dangerous to say something like this as a teacher, but for this one, can I say that we're happy with sum of angles equals 180? We know that it adds up to 180. Or, yeah. Hopefully, right? Hopefully, out of all of the ones on this page so far, I think we know this one, I think is the one that's most known. Okay, so are we happy? Hopefully that was a yes, otherwise this is very awkward. Okay, exterior angle of a triangle. The one mostly people forget, because if I gave you this scenario and you had these 2 angles, you'd probably work out, not probably, but it just comes up so often that you work out this angle here, and then you go angles on a straight line. Be honest, have you ever done that and done it in 2 steps? Which is perfectly fine, instead of just going exterior angle of a triangle. Okay, I don't know. I've honestly done that in the last few months, I'm sure, where, this was these two, and I went angles in a triangle and then angles in a straight line. As long as you give a reason for every statement, it's not a biggie, but exterior angle of a triangle is good. And remember, exterior angle of triangle, shorthand way of writing it. Like sum of angles. And so this could have been sum of angles in triangle. Please, and you're gonna see I'm gonna get a tiz about apostrophes. No apostrophe, no omission, no possession. It doesn't belong to the angle, and it's not like something was left out. So angles like that, no apostrophe, please. Okay, and the last one is Pythagoras. And Pythagoras, if you're given a right angle triangle, look for Pythagoras because it so often comes up if we're dealing with. In fact, maybe I'll ask that as a question. So Pythagoras, if we're given a triangle and the 90 degrees, when is Pythagoras helpful? Well, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking of one man. I'm very interested. This is why I like to add puzzles, because now I've asked a question and you've answered something, and I'm fascinated to see what you said. So I'm thinking of one thing, but of course that's not the only answer. It's just what I happen to be thinking about. So what I think is useful is that you're going to be dealing with side lengths. So if you're given 3, 4, Pythagoras isn't going to help you find this angle. No, trigonometry will help you with that. But Pythagoras will help you go, that side is 5. So it's great for side lengths. And conversely, if you're given a triangle, 3, 4, 5, then Pythagoras is great to tell you, then that implies that it must be, what was that? Must be a right angle triangle. So if you're given this, then it can be useful to see that. Okay, so that's that. Just a little run through, get us back into the swing of things. Fascinated to see answers. See you in the next one.